So that's what prompted me to write this chapter, that engage in meaningful conversation. Some people just kind of answer and you can tell they want to move on. And
Yeah.
some of them, you introduce yourself, you meet them in the same room, 5 minutes later, they've forgotten your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the little principles that they might not seem like they're a big deal, but then if you want to succeed in life, it might seem like it's not.
Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that have shaped their lives, inviting us all to reflect and grow together. Today we're joined by Moira Aboagye, a transformational thinker and personal growth mentor from London. With a passion for empowering emerging leaders, Moira inspires others to embrace the power of choice and cultivate resilience. Her thoughtful insights and warm spirits promise to guide us on a journey of self-discovery and meaningful change. Let's dive into Moira's world and explore the wisdom that has touched her heart.
Okay. Tell me your name and what your favorite quote is.
Okay, so my name is Moira Aboagye, and my favorite quote is from Viktor E. Frankl, which goes, "The last of human freedoms is the ability to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances."
Wow. Wow. When did you first discover this quote, or more like did the quote discover you? I don't know which one happened.
Well, it was when I was starting my book writing journey, and that quote summed up the theme of my book. So it is actually in my introduction to the book
Okay.
that I published
Okay.
recently. Yes,
What's the name of the book?
the book is called Mind Capsules. I've got it right here with me. You can find it on
Okay.
Amazon, Waterstones, Blackwell's, or Barnes and Nobles.
Okay. What's the book
Yeah.
about?
It's basically about having the right attitude. So that's why I love that quote, because in any circumstance, any situation in life, it's trying to teach someone to see things from a different angle and show that it is possible to choose your attitude in that situation, regardless of what it is and how bad it is. So you can choose a different, line of thought, and a different action will follow once you choose a different line of thought.
Yeah. I know that it's interesting now that you wrote a book regarding these concepts and philosophy. And I know that in that book, there are a lot of stories supporting some of the points and the concepts and the philosophies. So, which means that the question I'm about to ask, you would have so many answers to give to me. What are some stories that, and I would like us to start this way. I want us to start from your personal life, and then we'll move on to probably stories from other persons, probably those ones in your book also, where this quote you just mentioned is illustrated. Was that you gave us this quote? I want you to share stories that illustrate this quote, where it kind of paints a picture of what you're saying with this quote. So I want you to start with your own personal stories, and then you move on to other stories of other persons.
Okay, so my personal story is, I would love to refer back to my book, because when I was in the process of writing it, I was going through a lot of personal challenges.
Okay.
Okay, and the principles I was implementing is the very things that I was writing in my book. And the reason why I had the confidence to put that in my book is because it's things that I realized I'm living these things and I'm able to do it. And because I'm able to do it, I know everybody else can do it. So there's one chapter in my book that's called Begin Again and Again. So in that chapter, I'm basically trying to let people know that you can always begin. And it's not always beginning as in only the second time or the third time. I was quite vulnerable in that chapter because I was expressing the challenges I was facing, because I was trying to. Yes, sure. I like tell us the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I try so much to shy away from the story, not because I haven't overcome it, but it involves someone else, and at the time I was going through a very painful separation at the time. It was something that I did not want to happen, something that I didn't orchestrate, but it happened, and at the time I'd already started writing my book, but then I found that trying to heal from that emotionally, trying to continue with life as normal, that was quite a difficult time for me, trying to go to work as normal, trying to, take care of the children as normal. It was a difficult time for me. So writing the book wasn't a must as compared to going to work, making sure, the children are fed, they've gone to school, etc. But then I had this drive within me to accomplish it and do it. And honestly, I cannot give all credit to willpower. I'm a Christian, and my faith is what also pulled me through these times and these situations. So sometimes I would go back on my book, probably complete a chapter with tears dropping, on my pages, on my laptop, and then I'll close my laptop if I could feel like I was getting overwhelmed because I kept crying the whole time when I was, trying to complete even one chapter. So I would put it aside, try and get on with life, come back to my book, put it aside, come back again. So as I was doing it, I thought, let me include this chapter in my book because I was going through that exact, experience. And because I was able to keep on doing it and I kept on going back, starting again and again and again until I completed it. Even though it's in the middle of the book, that chapter, it was one of the chapters that I wrote towards the end because I made it. Yeah, because I
Wow.
made it. I was able to complete it. I had my book launch November 24, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have a lot of questions to ask, but then I also want us to try something different. And okay. And if you're down for it, we could do it. I wanted you to avoid, I don't know, I've not read the book yet, but I believe it's the type of book that gives us, okay, this principle, and then it goes on to share a story to illustrate the principle. I don't know if that's the book. I could be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So I wanted to, and it will be kind of asking you to like pick your favorite, but I want you to pick one of your favorite principle in all the principles in the book and share the story that illustrates that principle. I don't know if you're down for that.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
And
okay.
I think all the chapters, all the principles are my favorite. But
Exactly. I said it.
all of them.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, what I could take from now
Okay, you want to pick?
is
I was thinking we just pick a page at random and then see where we hop on. I'll pick a number and you just turn to that page.
okay, the nearest one. Okay,
Okay, okay,
go for
okay.
it.
The pages is from 1 to what number? What's the last page? The number of the last page.
The last page is 127.
Okay. Today's date is what? Today's 29, right? Yeah, 29,
Yeah,
29.
29.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it a
let's
blank
do it.
page?
No. Okay, so would you like me to start with a quote?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I have here, nobody cares about what you know until they know how much you care, by Theodore Roosevelt.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
I'm listening.
And the title of this particular chapter is called Engage in Meaningful Conversation. Yeah. So this comes from my personal experience, because I've met so many different people. I've been in so many different, crowds, and I've been to events, networking. And, sometimes when you're trying to talk to people, you can tell that they're not actually engaging. It's like they're there, but they're not there.
Yeah.
So that's what prompted me to write this chapter that engage in meaningful conversation. Some people just kind of answer and you can tell they want to move on. And
Yeah.
some of them, you introduce yourself, you meet them in the same room, 5 minutes later, they've forgotten your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the little principles that they might not seem like they're a big deal, but then if you want to succeed in life, it might seem like it's not anything that relevant or important, but in certain circles, I believe that this carries a lot of weight. When you're able to remember people's names, that's a sign that you care. So when you're engaging in meaningful conversation, you take your time to try and remember someone's name. You ask relevant questions, you ask open-ended questions and things like that. So this is something that I was expressing in this chapter.
Thanks for the backstory.
That's okay. Yeah. Is there any other one you want to hear about?
I was waiting for you to read it. The page. I was waiting for you to read 29.
Oh, because it
Oh,
actually starts in the middle. The chapter itself starts on page 28. So I just picked the quote on page 29 and then I kind of gave a summary of the chapter. Yeah.
Oh. Is
But the
there like
chapter
no
actually
standalone paragraph you can read for me on that page?
standalone paragraph. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Use your audiobook voice.
Okay. There are some key factors to include in any conversations if you want it to be worthwhile. One of such is learning to value what you hear. It may be the name of a person you meet for the first time, what the person tells you about themselves, or the topic of discussion. When engaging with people you're familiar with, tune into what they're saying to hear their heart and know their mind. Listen to what they really mean in order to understand how they feel deep down. Try not to forget what they tell you because it communicates whether you care or not. In order to show care and concern, put your need to be heard aside just for a little while and put the other person's needs before your own. You may discover that the person you talk to needs your encouragement and will be amazed that it is in your ability to give it. Give precedence to the other person so that they feel valued, loved, and appreciated. Nobody cares about what you know until they know how much you care. Theodore Roosevelt.
When you like put yourself to be the urge to be heard and just listen to them, that was when you cut off. But I know it's the well, everything you read has been recorded in high quality, so I'm not afraid of that. It's just that I didn't get to hear that part. Wow. Do you have this book in audiobook?
Honestly, I've already done the audio. I just need to upload it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all done. All the recordings are done. It's the
Okay.
uploading that needs to be done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
But
yeah.
I can contact you directly and let you know when
Okay,
I've done that,
please,
which should
please
be
do. You
within the week.
have my email address, right?
I should do, yes.
The message that was sent to remind you of the meeting, my email address is in that message.
Okay.
Yeah, in the email. So you can just use that to like contact me. I was like, yeah, I like to listen to you read the book. It goes well. Wow. Okay.
Actually, I hired someone to do that, so it wouldn't be me.
I'm not interested again.
Yeah.
I'm not interested again. I was hoping oh, you just ruined everything for me. Oh, what
Well, I was
happened?
at the studio,
Why didn't
but
you
I didn't have to hire someone else.
why didn't you read it yourself? Like your voice is perfect.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for that. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt it's a very good friend of mine who I actually put to to the task
Okay.
to do
It's
it
all
for
right.
me. Yeah,
I'm not
because
gonna say anything.
she does it professionally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just feel sometimes when, especially when the author writes the book and they do the audiobook, there's this personal touch that comes from knowing that it's the author, he or herself that read the book. You know, it feels like, how do I explain this now? I'll give an example. If the author is reading the book, it feels like the author
Mhm.
is talking to you straight. But then when you realize that, oh, it's somebody that read the audiobook, yeah, it's like, of course it's perfect, but you realize that, oh, there's a middleman. This is not the same person.
But
Yeah.
it's a very, very close friend of mine. So
Okay.
I know that they executed it very well. And, they share the same spirit. Their heart is 100% for me. So they put their whole heart and soul into it. As compared to someone you just, that is just a voice for hire. There's a difference, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just to out of curiosity, is it a male or a female that read the book?
Oh, definitely a female.
Okay. 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 So we're not too
Yeah.
far from. Is she British too?
Yes, she is.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just can't wait to listen to it and hear the book. Okay. In the book you read, nobody cares what you know until you know how much you care. And
Yes.
for me, the question was, sometimes we care, but what we show, how do I explain it? There's other different quotes from an episode I did previously with a guest that said, we judge others by their actions, but we judge ourselves by our intentions, right? Sometimes people have good intentions. They really want to care. Everything they're doing says otherwise. How do I explain that? Probably they try to greet you and maybe they spill a drink on you and probably they sleep, so stuff like that. Everything, sometimes you just look as if everything is just working against them, but in their heart of hearts they want to truly care and truly show that they care. But what are some like pointers, some little if there was a list of things we could do to say, okay, show the other person that we truly care, especially when we're having a conversation.
Okay, I think eye contact. And like I said, I've been in several rooms, events, networking, and sometimes you can tell that as you're speaking to someone, they're kind of looking at the next person they're trying to target to go and talk to. Yeah. So I think, first of all, that's a big no-no. Yeah. Straight away, you've already given that vibe to the person that actually it's not you I really want to talk to, it's that person over there for whatever reason, and you might leave the person feeling like, so I think they're more important than me.
Yeah.
You are making me feel like that person has more to offer than me. So I think eye contact is a big deal. And also the paying attention to the topic, as I read in from my book, because if you want to know they're paying attention, they will come back in the conversation, touching on the things that you mentioned regarding whatever topic you started. They will come back and ask questions related to that topic or add to the topic.
I think just to like add to what you said so far is if you're gonna talk to someone for the next 15 or 30 seconds, let it be as if they're the only person that exists in the world and there is no other person you're thinking of right there and now, and just be there with them. And so after the 30 seconds, you can probably forget about them. But for that 30 seconds, let it be as if they are the center of your world. And it should show that you're looking at them, you're listening to them. You say, okay, sorry, you said this. Okay, so what was that? What did you mean by that? Okay, yeah. So that's, so yeah. And then like, yeah, this person is really interested in what I have to say. And they're not just being polite.
Well, honestly, because I'm a mentor as well, right? And I am someone who is interested in the person 100% genuinely, unless obviously if it's a case where I'm in an event, it's a big setting, I probably won't see the person again, but I try to be as genuine as possible, you see, because, and I like your recording, on Podmatch. I love the recording where you said that, you want practical things,
Yeah.
not just 10 steps to this and 10 steps to that, wake up and do, your morning devotion. And I love that. And that's what we need now, because people have all these principles, but they're struggling to implement these principles. And I think genuineness has a lot to do with being able to apply certain things. So I think if you genuinely love people, it's not going to be a struggle, and I find that from where I'm coming from and my profession and what I do, because I mentor people. I don't mentor people for money. I don't mentor people because, okay, I know these things and I'm going to tell you these things, right? They're going to change your life. Pay me. Whether that's going to change your life or not is down to you. But then you've paid me. No, I love to see the transformation. I love to see that change. So when I'm communicating with someone, I genuinely want to know how they are. And I genuinely want to know about their life. So I'm not going to be like, well, after this, forget that person, And about 2 weeks ago, I actually met someone at an event. And it so happened that we said we communicated via LinkedIn, and we said, let's have a virtual coffee, and we had that virtual coffee, we got talking, and they also do podcast. They host their own podcast. And in the conversation, I happened to have information that they needed that was going to advance them in their career, because I paid attention to what they were saying. And then within that conversation, at some point, I knew that, hang on a second, I have this information that I can help you with. And that just changed their life from that point on. They were not a client. Yeah, they were not a client. This is someone I met. And then we decided on LinkedIn, let's have a virtual coffee. And it turned out to be, one of the best conversations I've ever had, he's ever had. Yeah.
Oh.
And life changing as well. Yeah.
Oh, it grieves me that this conversation has to come to an end. Okay. Just out of curiosity, do you have a podcast?
I'm actually starting one myself
Oh,
at the moment.
welcome to the club. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
Thank you. Yeah.
when is the podcast going live?
It should be going live probably mid-May.
Okay. So what you
Mid-May. myself maximum end of May, but I'm working on stuff behind the scenes.
Okay,
Yeah.
please, when it goes live, just reach out to me because I have a podcast that's it's specifically to know the stories of podcast hosts. So right now you're not qualified to be a guest, but once you have your podcast and it's active, then I can interview you. So yeah, please reach out to me and let me know. Yeah, I'd love to. Then
Sure.
over there we'll do 1 hour chats and it's pretty long, different from this one we're doing 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you so
problem.
much.
I'd love to reconnect.
Yeah, yeah, please. Okay. Where can, before I start asking you extracurricular questions, where can listeners learn more about your book, and can you please um, call the title of your book again so we can remember, and then, yeah.
Okay, so it's called Mind Capsules. Okay, Antidotes for the Right Attitude. And you can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Waterstones, and Blackwells. Or you can reach out to me at moira@smellthecoffee.org. And my Instagram handle is at smellthecoffee.me.
Smell the coffee. That's your domain name.
Yeah,
Wow.
smellthecoffee.me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's readable and it's easy to say. So yeah, it's nice. Well, once again,
Thank
thanks for coming on the podcast. Yeah, and thanks for reading from your book. Yeah, yeah, it sure
and
did
thank you for having
inspire me. Yeah, thank you so much. I really hope we get to reconnect. And please, probably I would write, but I don't know. It's when you launch. That's when yeah. But please, when you launch, I love to have you on my podcast. Let's talk about your podcast and why you're doing your podcast, and yeah, just your podcast. Okay, thanks again, Moira, for coming on the podcast. Yeah.
100%.
Uh,
Thank you very much for having me.
yeah, I'm going to click.
Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.